As with all my projects, I'm always fighting cost, trying to keep the cost low. In this particular case, I'm using common home construction materials and adapting them to my need. That's why I'm using electrical handy boxes, 3 and 4-way switches, thermostat wire. These are all extremely inexpensive building materials. I think this whole project, including all the way back to when I restored this dust collector motor, I think I'm all in for $200, including the drain waste vent and everything. This was not an expensive project. It was a time-consuming project. Money-wise, it wasn't very expensive. And I do have a complete explanation of all this wiring and circuit components and how it works at the end of this video, if you're interested in watching and seeing how that works. I did put together a short on this foot switch a couple weeks ago. I bought it from a welding shop that was going out of business. It was extremely filthy and I polished it up and cleaned it real nice. It was probably used to turn on a very large industrial machine. I'm just using it to kick on and off the dust collector for my miter box. I had a lot of fun restoring it and I've been kicking myself ever since that I never made a video on how I did it. So now that my dust collector project's done, I wanted to do a quick walk around video just to kind of show you how it came out. So you're already very much familiar with this setup.
So the switch network comes out right here and goes up and overhead as you saw earlier in the video. So the first spot that my dust collection system comes to is right here. This is my sweep out port, and this is for this joiner if I ever get it working. And I've got my switch right here. The ducting also goes up in this way. I'll show you that next. So this is just a spare port and a switch for it. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Here's my miter box with my foot operated dust collection. Here's my 4-inch sander, dust collection port for that. I have it unplugged right now. And here's the switch for it. And so right here, this is really my main shop behind me. I really don't run a lot of power tools there except for my table saw or the planer. And so I've just got 2 hookups here I can use for the table saw and planer. And so right here is a manual switch I can use for dust collecting whatever, including using it as a shop vac. And then down here was the telephone port you saw me add. That's for the relay control on the table saw. So the table saw will kick the vacuum on every time I turn the saw on. Now the reason I ran it to here and stopped is that I've never had a dust collection system before and I didn't know how useful it would be. So I brought it out to here. I can extend it from here further back if I want to, but I don't think I'll need to. But we'll just have to wait and see, because my dust collection system is scalable and the control switch network is scalable. I can do whatever I want with it. And that was the whole point, was to have flexibility. So as I grow and my shop changes, I can adjust that as I need. So thanks for watching and have a good day. Diagram I drew of the low voltage switch network. It's actually pretty simple if you understand household wiring. If you don't, it might require a little bit of thinking on your part. So these 2 orange connections coming in here are the 2 sides of the doorbell transformer. When those 2 orange wires are connected, no matter where they get connected, it will kick the contactor over. That's the basic premise of this entire network. The green here, all the way through, all I'm simply showing is that every box all along the way is electrically grounded to the dust collector control box. This is just for electrical safety and is, in my opinion, a good best practice. So each box I screwed to the wall near where I want a dust collection to occur is represented by one of these brown boxes. The boxes that have hand-operated switches use 3-way switch to a 4-way, to a 4-way, to a 3-way. These are switches that are used in every house in North America to turn lights and other appliances on. So these 4 boxes, their whole purpose in life is to connect this to this via this red wire all the way through to this white wire and back. That's all these 4 boxes do. There are 2 exceptions to this network. That's the foot switch, which is a momentary switch, and the relay I put on the table saw here, which is also essentially a momentary switch. I ran a separate wire through each of these boxes that in this case was red. That momentary switch just connects the red to the white, just like the switch network connects fundamentally the red to the white. Down here, a couple boxes later, on the table saw, all it really does is when the relay is energized, it connects the white to the red. The 2 momentary switches, I don't have to worry about who's got the power onto the contactor because they're momentaries. Those will not stay on by default. However, this switch network of hand-operated switches, you could turn one on somewhere and then walk somewhere else and then forget which switch you turned on. So rather than having to walk around my shop figuring out which switch is on, I wired it up this way. So I can turn it on anywhere and I can turn it off from anywhere. That's how household wiring works. It's very convenient. You could have as many hand-operated switches as you want. You just keep adding 4-ways. If you want to add more momentaries, you can do that too. You see here the thermostat wire has 5 colors. And so all the colors inside this little cloud icon are my quote-unquote color budget for the colors I used between the boxes to make sure I didn't run out of colors. Red and white for the main 2 power wires, blue and yellow for what's called a traveler wire. And so my green wire was held in reserve. It was just used for grounding all the boxes for electrical safety reasons. So I hope this makes sense.